Hey there, rulers! Welcome back after another long week of Force of Will 2, the Teacher's Lounge, featuring only two of us today because it's Labor Day and we felt like giving people some time off. But I am, as always, Jeremy Franklin, and I've been joined by
Josh
Josh
Patton.
Josh Patton, holding 4 boxes of DBV. Um, Hey in the chat. Glad to have you guys join us here tonight. Just a few things. If you like what we're doing here and you want to support what we do on the channel, click that join button down below. Get you access to all kinds of cool stuff. It's minimum $2 just to get access to the emojis and stuff, all the way up through $30, where we also send you some awesome merch and you get a chance to put stuff here on the channel yourself. Plus, you get access to all these cool emojis, like Derek is gonna spam in the chat right now, right on cue. Thanks, Derek.
Wow, that
And
was
that was great,
on.
right? And the more members we get, the more emojis I can make. So if you want to see Force of Will characters flooding your YouTube chats, consider supporting the channel. Um, the other thing that I want to kind of push here is, if you haven't already heard, we, myself and Josh, as well as our buddy Joe, are hosting a new event called the Ruler's School Grand Foul Festival. And I'm going to pull this up right now. You can go to our website. It is in the description as well as in the chat right now. I'm going to type it properly.
It's right
I thought it was copy pasted. It
here.
was not. um, you can go to videogaming.com and you can sign up for the Ruler School Grand Foul Festival. It is a tournament that we are hosting. It's going to be here in Michigan, October 12th, over in Westland, Michigan. The details are all on the website. Tons of awesome prizing, including metal prize cards, promo cards, cash prizing to top cut. And the more players we get, the more money we can give away. So if you already haven't checked it out, please consider joining us for that event. Again, that's October 12th of this year in Westland, Michigan. And consider pre-regging, because the more people pre-register, the more prizing we can announce. So get that hype train coming. I know there's a lot of people even like renting vans to like bring groups of people. So like the hype is real, and it's just outside of the Detroit Metro Airport, so it's super fast and easy to fly to. Getting some messages. Okay, that's what I'm finding out about the Epic Stories side event that's going to be taking place on day 2. Bringing Frank Klosser back.
Yay.
I'm bringing Frank Klosser back to help us out with that one. So the man,
He's
the
still
myth, the legend,
around?
the creator of Epic Stories is going to come help us out. So, yes, the 12th of October. Yeah, I already have some nice metal prize cards here to give away. So if you want those Arthurs, along with lots of other prizing, please consider checking that out. But this past
Oh,
weekend.
my boy Remedy in the chat. He's calling me out. Those are his boxes.
Well, Remedy, he's going to hold them hostage until October 12th. So you got to come to the Force of Will Festival. No, but
Just come to
seriously,
my
though, we're
house,
really
buddy.
excited
They're
about this
yours.
event because it is going to be pretty much the first and only major event here in the United States to include the new set until Worlds. So it's going to be a wide open Wild West meta. So I'm very much looking forward to it. So with that, speaking of new cards, DBV, this past weekend was release weekend and had some very, very interesting things happen. Particularly for those of you who haven't heard, there has been lots of he said, she said, they suck, they rock, all kinds of weirdness in regards to the print run for this set. There have been claims by some people who are in the market of buying a ton of boxes to then resell that they weren't able to get product, that the production line was slashed, the yada, yada, yada. There is also a lot of word from people who are very much trusted and certain distributors saying, no, that's not true. We got all the product we ordered and then some. So there's a lot of mixed messages here. So we wanted to kind of talk about that, what our experience has been at our local level, maybe some of the reasons that we've heard as to why this whole thing happened. And we also want to hear from you guys in the chat, what you guys thought. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the also announcement that came this past week in terms of the change in what future sets are going to look like in terms of how many cards, box, box production wise, and everything else. So for starters, we need to talk DBV, right? So,
Yep.
Josh, what's some of the things that you've heard about DBV?
All right. Well, so my world fell apart on Tuesday. So Basically, my supplier for Force of Will product has always been Rudy from Alpha Investments. I've been a patron of Rudy's for a really long time, and I can buy product from him, and he always had plenty of Force of Will for me to get my hands on. So he was my main source for Force of Will, but he is one of the people that have put out information saying that the supply for this set was absolutely terrible. Distributors did not have enough to go around. Rudy himself, he claims he only got 6 to 9 boxes or something along those lines as compared to his normal 200 that he offers us. In side conversations that I had with him, he openly admitted that he was a little reserved on this set going forward in his pre-orders because of the new company. So, but the fact that he only got 6 or 7, that meant I didn't have any. And that was a shame. That was an absolute shame. So then we saw what we saw from Dylan, our boy up in Canada, who was asking the real questions, which was who pre-ordered and who didn't get from pre-orders.
And I think that's what distributors were the pre-orders happening from.
Yes. And so I think that's one of the big things that I kind of want to talk about here on this podcast is what exactly is a pre-order and what are the timelines that we're dealing with here, because I can promise you that after this experience, I am adjusting the way that I buy Force of Will product so that this never happens to me again. And I want to share with you guys because until Saturday, or until Sunday, yesterday at 6:00 p.m., I was out of product. Come release day, I did not have any boxes. And for those of you guys that have been following me, I'm a steady buyer, 4 boxes every set, and I didn't have any on release day. So it was crazy weekend for me.
Yep. One of the things that people need to recognize, I think, that's not very well known is the fact that there are approximately, in terms of people who carry, like distributors who carry VOW, right? There's a few options. There's Potomac. Don't go to them, please. That they are pretty much a distributor who is completely willing to just sell to players and pretty well against it. I mean, sure, you can get product there if you really need to, but we don't like it. Secondly,
wait, so explain that a little bit more.
So Potomac they are a distributor who acquires boxes, and they do this with Yu-Gi-Oh! Too. They do it with several other Japanese games. They are a store, a distributor that essentially says, look, we don't have as many reps or whatever. We just want to sell as many boxes as fast as we possibly can, and we will sell it to anybody. You can be a Joe Smo off the street. I could go to Potomac right now, and I could place an order. I'm going to get it for maybe a few bucks more than my local game store is going to be able to buy it for. And the problem is that cuts your local game store out of the opportunity to be able to buy it, which then impacts like how much they're going to pre-order. So that's a big thing about like if you have a local game store, don't go to Potomac. Because Potomac just does what it wants. Don't get me wrong. At the beginning of Force of Will, I know that Rob and I worked really, really hard to try to convince Force of Will to not even do business with Potomac. Japanese companies, though, because they don't have the vast super network as much as they do here, sometimes use that connection with Potomac. It's just part of it. Secondly, there is Allegiant. That's one, I think that's the one that Games and Geek uses and tries to hook people up to get in contact with. There's also GTS, Southern Hobby, and a few others. Not all of these distributors give a crap about Force of Will. That is very important for people to know. Specifically, there have been some distributors, I believe, if I'm correct, GTS has been pretty against Force of Will in the past. Like, there's a difference between being reserved in your and kind of like withheld in your business with them, right? Like, I'm a little bit wary about what you're gonna do. There's another thing to be like kind of trying to snide them, like be petty. And that there have been GTS, I believe, is one, and there have been a couple others that have been that kind of pettiness, reflecting back, blaming when it wasn't really their fault, the company of Force of Will. and also kind of mishandling some things that they weren't supposed to do in terms of promos. Now, not everybody is great at the promo distribution, all kinds of stuff. That's why we tried to get it back into someone else's hands, yada, yada, yada. But not all distributors are created equal, and not all the distributors have Forcible's best interest at heart. That's super important to recognize going into this situation. The other thing to recognize is a store does not have to use one distributor exclusively. Different stores can use different distributors for different product lines. Stores don't do this. This also causes problems. If they get everything through, say for instance, a store gets everything through GTS. We just established that GTS isn't super great with Force of Will, so they don't get as much. So then GTS blames it on Falco. Meanwhile, my store, Odyssey Games, gets their stuff through Southern Hobby and received, after ordering a week and a half before the set release just to verify things, 5 cases. Right? So not all distributors are made equal. That being said, this whole scenario has lended itself to reminding people that not all distributors are created equal, and you have to approach Force of Will differently than your regular product in regards to how early you order it, how much you order it, and where you order it. And that's what caused a lot of this shenanigans. Going into the chat real quick, Derek, trying to share the distributors with stores. Distributor's been pretty spot on. Brandon Bremont joining us here for the chat. Hey, buddy, good to see you.
Baymont. I love that. Honestly, I looking at it, I was like a typo, but then he was like, I'm like, no, that's not a typo.
That's not it. That's
Brandon Baymont. Oh my God, it's beautiful. I love it.
I just think it's really important for people to recognize that. Rudy sold 6 boxes via eBay at $149.99 thus far. Has 6 more available and raised his price to $170 a box.
4 of those should have been mine.
Like, that's like, here's the thing, right? There's this really weirdness with Force of Will in regards to, and I've seen it, right, of commitment to the game at a distributor level, at a store level, and then just like also communication to the stores from players about how much they really, really want this product. So, like, I'm not blaming any one person in particular, and sure, there may have been a reduction in terms of how much they printed this set, but I would probably bet you that their print run was based on actual official pre-order numbers from the actual effective pre-order reserve date.
And I guarantee that the actual pre-order number was way lower than what we have experienced in the past. That management change spooked many, many people. Sure, and I know absolutely. 2 off the bat, one of them being Rudy, the other one I'll leave unnamed, completely out after buying heavily into the 3rd set, completely out of the 4th set. Now, missed out on a huge opportunity, but like that management change completely spooked everyone out of the market. So here's what I kind of want to talk about on pre-orders, okay? We saw, and Jeremy, correct me if I'm wrong, one of our poster flyer things had a date of September 14th.
I have the picture
is
here.
When pre-orders are due?
For the pre-release kits.
No, pre-release kits.
The pre-release kits for next for next set. It has like an order date.
I think it was like I thought there was one for the set too.
Pre-order due date. No, there hasn't been one released for the actual set. So the pre-order due date for pre-release boxes of Atlas Origin 1 is September 11th of 2019. So set 4 just dropped.
Yeah.
In 10 days, you need to have a store that has talked to a distributor about ordering a pre-release kit.
Okay, show of hands. Who knew that it was that flippin' early?
No clue.
Not me. Not idea. So here's what ends up happening, right? Is you and I, we're like, oh man, this set is awesome. We're having fun. All right. We're doing everything. And the people that are handling all of your future demand, they're busy while you're busy and you aren't communicating with them because you're having fun here. Right. So like, here's the situation that you end up having, right? Is now all the pre-orders are in. Okay. You were busy having fun with all the new cards. Then spoiler season starts. Holy crap, this new set is amazing. Demand goes from here to here. Supply didn't flip and change.
That's the
Like, you're
weirdness
already
of Force of
done.
Will. And that's the weirdness with Force of Will right now is I okay, hold on. I got to put on my hashtag company shill moment. Okay, hold on. Let me put on hashtag Jeremy's a company shill for a second. So, like, here's the thing. I think the lesson that needs to be taken away from this ultimately is that people, I think, need to check themselves about why they enjoy Force of Will, right? And, like, I get the old guard is gone and there's some anger about it. I get it, right? I get that there are new people in charge. I also get that. If you base your purchasing decisions on spite because of a person, as opposed to on whether or not you enjoy this game, you're in for a rough ride with Force of Will, right? I think that's part of what happened here in the player base and communicating to their stores. And I think we need to recognize as a community, we need to ask ourselves, like, do we like this game? If you like this game, you need to support it, meaning you need to be talking to your store now about the future of Force of Will, right? And that's like a weirdness, and that's what I think has caused this issue with DBV, right? Because
Well, and we can honestly, like, it's super easy. This has already happened once. For
right.
those of us that are around, you can go back. It was called Vingolf 3. Vingolf 2 was absolute garbage. Then all of a sudden, this stuff comes out, and they're like, hey, we're going to do a Vingolf 3. And guess who didn't want anything to do with Vingolf 3? Everyone. Then guess what happened? Spoilers. Guess what? Vingolf 3 is flipping amazing. And then there was nothing. Right. There was nothing to back it up. Congratulations. We have another Vingolf 3. Everyone bailed on the new company. They printed baller cards. Like, this set, if you haven't played in this set yet, you haven't had fun playing Force of Will. Because there are 10 decks.
Oh my gosh. I built 3 decks already. I built 3 decks already, and I'm just looking at the lists being like, this is going to be the most fun I've had in, like, ever. Like, it's super
10
great.
decks. 3 of them say you can't play cards, and 7 of them say you're dead on turn 3 or 4. Like, that is, like... like, this is fun, all right? But, like, that is, like, historically, we've already been here. And that's what everyone needs to understand, is that this isn't anything new. So what Jeremy is saying, and what we can put statistically is, like, the way you would look at, like, supply, right, is, like, it's a bar graph, right? The lowest point and from, like, 0 to the lowest point, there's a bunch of people right there that have bought product every single set. They buy the same amount every single set. I'm also in that little number there, right? Then from the sell the most to the sell the least, that's where you've got your fluctuation, right? So what I personally need to do come this next set is I need to make damn sure that Force of Will knows that I'm in this number.
Right. Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
my previous model did not do that. My previous model relied on somebody else to just have the product readily available. And I can guarantee there is going to be enough of you listening that do the exact same thing. You are interested in Force of Will. You like Force of Will, but you wait patiently till after spoilers, and then you go to Happy Little Hug Factory, TCG Player, and you buy up that 10% overprint from pre-orders. That's what you buy.
We need to push it higher. We need to.
If you don't want to get burned like you did on this set, like I did on this set, we have to get pre-orders in now. And so that is currently something that I'm looking at. Jeremy is right. Jeremy has a local store, and I will tell you without a shadow of a doubt, go to your local store, communicate with them your exact desires. I want to buy this many boxes. Have them write it down on a piece of paper so that they can tell their distribution. I do not have a local store. There is nobody in Fort Wayne that gives 2 craps about this game. Okay. So where Jeremy said, do not use Potomac, I may be using Potomac.
Right.
The only reason why I'm saying this is because I do not have a local store. It has nothing to do with price. At this point, I'm pretty sure Happy Little Hug Factory has sent out an email to me before after this last set that said, what is your intended interest on this next set? Okay. That was the closest thing to like a pre-order thing I've ever experienced in my life. Potomac has the ability to take these pre-orders now. They have them up on their site. You can buy cases and starter decks pre-order from Potomac before this imaginary date, and they make you pay.
If you don't have an LGS.
And they make you pay 10% right out the gate, right? So it's not, you don't have to buy a case worth of stuff right now. I'm pretty sure it's like 10% now, 90% when you get your product.
It's 10.90.
But this is something I'm considering. I'm not saying exactly that I'm going to go buy from Potomac. But I'm saying
it's a voice, right?
Is what you have to do is you cannot be silent anymore. If you want the next cards, you have to get it in now. And right now, I don't have a locals. I think Potomac might be my answer. It might be my answer just so I can get, like, because this, like, I'm in here. And they didn't print my 4 boxes this time. And that's bullshit. Right? I'm going to make damn sure that doesn't happen again.
So, real quick, though, to kind of transition, that is kind of a hard-hitting point, right? Is I think you need to use whatever voice you have now to help communicate to the company now that you are not part of this bottom. Like, you are part of the big chunk. So that big chunk gets produced and is bigger, and then the top percent is even bigger than that, and we don't have this kind of shortage. That being said, though, there is a very interesting transition that's happening for this next set where the company is transitioning what sets look like. So I'm not going to go 100% off the ICV2 article because ICV2 articles are really, really confusing because they're written usually by a person who's not part of the game. Translation from Japanese to English can be kind of wonky. Methodology can kind of be a little bit, like intended message can kind of be a little bit weird. It seems to be that the next set, Alice Origins, we know for a fact is transitioning to being smaller boxes, 20-pack boxes. It also sounds like we are for sure going to 8 boxes per case. So that translates roughly to about, let's see, it's about 26 less packs per case, if my math is correct. 36 times 6. 36 times 6 is 196.
Yeah, but 36 minus 20 is 16. Shut up. 16 times 6 is 96.
Yeah, so 96.
We're 96 less packs.
Let's see.
Yeah, they've almost cut the box in half.
No. So it's 160 packs. It's 160 packs in a case now. When we get to 8. When we go to 8 for a case.
You're right.
A case now is a case now is 6 times 6, 36, 180. So it's 216. We're going to see it's about 56 less packs per case. That math checks out. Yeah.
Math.
So
welcome to the Teacher's Lounge.
Hooray!
He teaches English and I teach history.
Yeah, there we go.
Our math teacher's not here right now.
So, that's true. So with that in mind, right? There has been the ICV2 article makes it seem like we are getting reprints from Alice Cluster of some form, which honestly, as long as they're the right cards, we've already talked about it, that could be pretty hype because Alice Cluster has some pretty hype stuff.
Well, hold on, time out. Let's talk about that. We saw the art, like the red dragon.
Yeah, people are saying it's Blazer. People are saying it's Blazer.
He didn't have a mohawk. No, that's the red dragon from the Melga starter deck. It's Drake, right? DRA.
It looks like it might be a reskin of Drake, or it could be.
He didn't have a mohawk last time, right?
Yeah.
Like that's new.
Yeah, I don't.
They just slapped a mohawk on the
If it's new artwork, that's the other thing too. Is the reprints could be new artwork. The reprints could be old artwork, which honestly, I'm probably okay with that if it means that like a majority of the new set is new cards, right? Whatever. But anyway, you're just gonna go find a Drake.
I gotta go find a Drake. Don't mind me.
So, let's see. While he goes and finds a Drake. So, it seems like we're going to have a bunch of reprint. We're going to have some reprints and a bunch of new cards, a new starter deck, or 2 new starter decks, and every single set released from now on is going to have at least 1 starter deck associated with it. and then the new 20 card boxes. So the question
I don't think
becomes,
it's a drag. I don't think that's a drag.
I don't
Now that
know.
I'm
It
looking
might be
at it,
new artwork. It might be something completely new. Maybe it's
I think
Drake
it is
2.0
new with a mohawk.
with a mohawk. People are also
Mohawk
saying
Drake.
it could be Blazer. People are saying it could be Blazer. But
Ugh.
what I think this means is I want to talk specifically about what this transition means, right? I
Mhm.
think people are initially very afraid that Regalia could come back. I'm going to put a pump on the brake on that one in the fact that, yes, Regalia might come back, but I think that with everything they've learned, or I hope that with everything they've learned, Regalia can be implemented the way that they should have been, which is to A, have a cost, B, not be colorless, and C, have a legendary rule. Those are very easy to implement, and way back when, the thing that made Regalia so stupid is that they were free and you could play as many of them as you wanted. So if we
Mhm.
change that, I think that bringing Regalia back could be cool, right? Because it also brings us back to the J ruler centric, and I cut like this whole cluster has been so not that. Like this whole cluster has not been J ruler focused, and in a game where you want to flip your ruler, it's like, come on, let's go back. Um,
I
so
will say though, like we have a crap ton of J
I know that's the other
removal.
reason why I'm totally fine
Like,
with it because there's so much J ruler hate
like there's so
in
much
this
J hate,
cluster.
right?
It's the other reason why I'm fine with it, right? So the other thing is with this transition to if the other thing is I really hope that it's actually a smaller set. So if it's about maybe let's say like a 70 to 80 card set or whatever, just in the set.
70, 80 of new cards because they've
No,
already advertised it's going to be 147.
see, that's the thing. I'm not entirely sure that that 140, and that's why I say ICV2 is weird, right? I'm not entirely sure that that 147 is the set. I think that 147 might be rulers, basic stones, set, and structure. Like, I think that number might be all of the cards combined.
Well, I guess did we figure out what Memorial is
That's
and
the other thing.
normal?
Again, I'm not going off of
80
ICV2 because it's
Memorial
super weird what
cards.
those cards are.
What is that?
I think that 147 is probably everything from the entirety of A0, AO0,
Uh,
and AO1, which then leads me to believe that we are then a potentially smaller deck. Because remember, also the new structure decks are going to have like random packs of 5 cards, like that are probably
yeah.
whatever.
Well, and that's
But
that's
regardless,
another thing that we got to talk about.
I think
Whoa.
this transition. I think this transition to 20-pack boxes is the new Force of Will company's recognition, and Rudy talks about this a little bit in his video, that Force of Will is a tier 2.5 to tier 3 card game, right? That is not a bad thing. That just means that its goalposts have changed. Meaning that when you acknowledge, so for the longest time, 36-pack boxes, let's talk about other games that have 36 count boxes. Kaijudo did for a bit, and then Kaijudo died. Magic, end of list. Yu-Gi-Oh has 24 count boxes. Pokemon has 24 count boxes, I believe, right?
Argent
So
Saga came out the gate and they're at 20
26 or whatever. I don't know, 24
something along those lines.
But like
yeah, Caster's Chronicle, smaller
also,
box.
they've shrunk even further. They're like 12, but they're also
Oh,
much. I think they're even short, but they're smaller sets. But anyway, so with that transition, it actually changes a lot of things, and I think transitioning to a 20-pack box is the Forcible Company's acknowledgement and understanding that they are a tier 2.5 game, and they're not trying to fight Magic anymore. Which means that in a sense, these boxes are now easier for the casual player to come in and buy a box off the street, easier for a store to sell sealed boxes because it's less of a commitment, and it's an easier way to just get product out of there, also while making the production cost potentially for the company smaller. I think this is a stabilizing decision that is going to settle Force of Will, establish what it is, set its goalposts at where this game actually needs its goalposts to be, and continue and just ensure that we're going to be longevity wise for the rest of the time. So I think that it is going to be. I think it's going to be really positive. I think that it is going to be, if coupled. Personally, I think that if this coupled with a strong set design, with good but not too many reprints that attract older players and get the hype of Alice Cluster back, like without stupidness of Alice Cluster. This bringing old players back and coupling it with a new GP season, which we have heard from Svetlana, the rumors, and that she's been talking with the company that they are going to be announcing a full GP season next year. I mean, I think like this is kind of the third piece of the trifecta that I think really secures what Force Will is going to be moving forward. Because, like, let's be honest, it's banned in Wanderer, so it'll be real weird if it comes back. But also, I kind of guess I could understand it because we at least don't have Grim Cluster to deal with it as well. But, like, how hype would it be if Guinevere came back? I mean, how hype would it be if Guinevere came back? How hype would it be if Space Time Anomaly came back?
Well, Space Time would be an auto add, like the value off that card. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think that the boxes, as far as we know, are probably going to be around 60 to 65 based on what your locals decides to do, plus inclusion or non-inclusion of tax. So it's like anywhere from like 55 to 65. But like again, when you've been comparison to boxes being like 100 to 110, 55 to 65 ish for just someone to just pick up off the street and just buy a box. It's pretty good. I think that's a much more easier to impulse buy. It's much more easier for people to just pick up the casual box here and there. I think it's going to be really, really good. I think it's also going to bring more confidence to stores because they'll be able to move sealed product.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big thing. It's like sure, stores want to open packs for singles, right? But the singles market is
do
really,
they
really
though?
wonky. That's the other thing is stores make the most typically, at least in our crazy Force of Will market as it is, doing sealed product, and it's hard to move 36 count boxes to a non-established environment. A 20 count box is much easier to just move sealed. It's just much easier. So I think that's going to be really, really helpful. The chat is going crazy. Bring back my babies, Guinevere and Sylvia. Derek's going, yeah. Someone's saying Machina. All kinds of good stuff. So, like, I just think that this decision is a really, really positive one. But I think people just need to recognize it. And I think that you know that this is what it's going to be like. You know what this is going to be. Boxes are going to be like. Think about it now about, with this new structure, how many boxes you want, what you can afford, and tell your local game store now so that you can get these new smaller boxes as soon as they're out and part of that order. So all just builds on top of each other, man.
Yeah, and I guess if you have one data point to go off of, it's this one. It's this set. Like, I wouldn't worry about the cards not being playable or the set being lame because I don't believe that the new company knows how to not print fire. Like, and that's something we're probably gonna have to deal with in the future when we talk about like power creep and stuff like that. But like right now, we could just have fun. Like, this stuff is crazy. And but
have you read the new Lich Resonator?
I would
like to draw 2 cards and force you to discard 2 cards, all on a 3-drop 7/7 body, please. Thank you.
Man, that 1-drop edition just does enough. It's just like, hi, I'm here. I would like for you to
discard a card, please.
Just discard, and then I'm gonna produce will and just do my thing. It's just like, no.
It's our first ever super rare edition.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, this whole set with the 20. So like, that's where I'm also at for like the new set. Like the new set, I have to get a case, and I'm actually very grateful that the company made the case at about the same price that like my 4 boxes already are. So I'm not going to be financially different, but like going into this, I have no idea what the distribution is going to be like. I have no idea what 20 packs in a box is going to yield me. I don't know what they're trying to do. Like, the new company already switched up the game when they put 20 super rares into this set, and they gave you 2 god packs in every case. Like, surprise. Yeah, if you didn't know that, you get 2 god packs in every case, and they're different.
It's pretty fat. Yeah. There's the high god pack, and then the non-high god pack.
Is that how that went?
Yeah, because it's the 10 dual colors versus the 10 non-dual colors.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, I noticed that. I didn't realize that all the dual colors were the high gods.
They are.
Damn, you're right.
There you go. The high god pack. What we call
this new
HGP in the Force of Will business.
But yeah, this new set, I gotta me and anybody else where this resonates in your heart, like you have to make sure that you are a data point on the graph for Force of Will Co.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
don't be in the 10% of them guessing. Like, just tell them, like, hey, look, dude, like, I hate what you did to EG. Like, that sucks, bro. He was my friend, but like, still give me cards. Just put that in the comment section.
Please, cards.
Please.
Cards. And on that very weird note, man, I'm so stupid when I do things like this on camera, and it's just getting, oh my gosh, it lives forever on the internet. I'm super happy about it.
Please, sir, can I have some more?
Please, sir, can I have some more? But on that note, we are going to call it
drag.
Well, thanks.
Oh, thanks, man. Is that a mohawk?
But on that note, we are actually going to call it here a little bit early for tonight, being Labor Day. But we did want to have this conversation with you and get the information out there. Later this week, Wednesday, we do not have a feature match for this week just because, again, new set release. We want to get some new stuff building for you guys. However, this set had a bunch of reprints, and old sets have a lot of really good commons and uncommons that can help fill out teaching decks. So we're going to see this Wednesday is a video of me breaking down the 5 reprint structures, which are decks that I created using the reprints from this new set alongside commons and uncommons from previous sets in New Valhalla that you can use $5 to like charge a buddy the price of a pack, give them a deck, and let them play Force of Will. Talk to your locals if they have bulk. And we'll be breaking down kind of what the 5 decks entail, how they kind of operate, the best way to make them work, and why you should be using them as ways to help get people started in the game. It's very, very easy, but I'm very much looking forward to that coming forward on Wednesday, so be sure to check that out. And again, if you like what we're doing here, please consider hitting that join button, and then check out that link down below for the Grand Foul Festival. Get pre-registered now so you can get early access to all of the cool prizing and more as it gets announced. So, however, that's it for us for tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And until next time, this has been myself, Jeremy Franklin, and I have been joined by
Josh Patton.
And we're saying class dismissed. Have a good night, everybody.